bet you're all wondering what the hell is going on. What is Creaky up to now? Has he lost his mind? Maybe we'll soon find out. I just thought it would be fun, and I did get really carried away. What can I say? Sue me.
I'm on a mission, get some flat earth rain. Gotta use science to break the ball and chain. I seen the planets up above the stars so high. It's around us, baby, ain't no need to cry. Yeah, man, with the message, gotta testify. The earth's a globe, no need to wonder why. We keep on rolling like the round earth spins. The truth will set you free, so let the fun begin.
Right, I've got a story to tell about the flat earth theory, and it's gone straight to hell. Flat earth, you say? Ah, what a joke. It's like science and reason just went up in smoke. You think the earth's flat? Are you out of your mind? You must have left all your logic and reason behind. You say NASA's lying and it's all a big scam, but mate, you don't even understand a simple diagram. You're on YouTube scrolling, thinking you woke, but all you're doing is inhaling contrail smoke. Your flat earth theory, it's such a disgrace. You're making a mockery of the whole human race. You say gravity's fake, it's all just density. But let me tell you why that doesn't make sense to me. You ignore Einstein, Galileo and Newton too, just to make a point that's not even true. Flat earthers, listen, it's time for school, and I'm about to show you why I think you're a tool. The earth is round, it's a beautiful sphere, and if you disagree, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, I said yeah, I'm Welsh, it's my accent. What do you want me to do about that?
Hey, Creaky. Stop lying. You don't have an accent. I mean, just listen to me.
I'm on a mission, get some flat earth rain. Gotta use science to break the ball and chain. I seen the planets up above the stars so high. It's around us, baby, ain't no need to cry. Yeah, man, with the message, gotta testify. The earth's a globe, no need to wonder why. We keep on rolling like the round earth spins. The truth will set you free, so let the fun begin.
Yo, the name is Ark, and I'm about to spark a little knowledge into all the minds and hearts of flat earthers everywhere that left the brains in park. Cause they talk so much shit, the breath smell like farts. We'll embark on a journey like with Lewis and Clark, and we'll discover all the things that blows your flat earth apart. But better check your pseudoscience before we depart, cause this is factual knowledge that I'm about to impart. And we're tossed in these shadows, yeah, they played a part. Galileo's telescope, a celestial chart that Magellan used when he said the world's so smart. At a modern age, astronauts depart, needing buzz on the moon, yeah, they made their mark. They saw the blue marble, a cosmic work of art. Coriolis pendulums and nighttime stars, GPS satellites and orbiting cars. In the ancient times, yeah, they thought it was flat, but science done went and changed all that. From the ancient Greeks to the modern day science, it's the flat earth preachers that are doing all the lying.
Yeah, and if you don't like it, you know where to find me. YouTube.com/@MemoryArtStudios. And if you like what you heard, you can find me there too.
I'm on a mission, get some flat earth rain. Gotta use science to break the ball and chain. I seen the planets up above the stars so high. It's around us, baby, ain't no need to cry. Yeah, man, with the message, gotta testify. The earth's a globe, no need to wonder why. We keep on rolling like the round earth spins. The truth will set you free, so let the fun begin.
Anyway, that's my rant in rhyme and verse about the flat earth theory, which keeps getting worse. Flat earthers, you're wrong, you're completely absurd, and denying science makes you as dumb as a turd. Memory Art Studio. Good evening. I want to sit facing this way the whole night. My moustache looks awesome.
Just 90% moustache.
I know. I feel like Magnum PI. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Jim Daniels, how are you, pal? Purple Snowdrop, how are you? Brian Pop Lobson, can Welshman rap? Well, obviously, Brian, you know. I just did. Well, I didn't just. God, just 2 years, isn't it? Since we've done Dumb as a Turd.
Almost. It was
Isn't that?
September 2023 we did that.
Was it? Yeah, so it's just coming up for a year. That's
Yeah.
bonkers, that is.
It was a month before. I don't know if I mentioned
Yeah.
it, but I went to Thailand. But
Yeah. Have you been to Thailand?
I have actually. Yeah.
I thought you'd been quiet for about 3 months, 2 years ago. What was I going to say then? I can't remember. I'm forgetting what I was going to say already, and it's literally the beginning. Is it on Spotify yet? It was on Spotify, Kev. I don't know if it stayed on there because to put a track, to use a word that the kids will understand, onto a streaming service like Spotify, believe it or not, and I don't want to shock anyone, it's not free. You have to pay. So I paid for a year, and I thought, well, if it gets loads of listens, then maybe I will pay again, but I didn't pay again, so make of that what you will. Let's just say it was a very niche song for a selected audience. And
it was good fun to me.
It was very good fun to me. It was. Brian Pop Robson says you should have popped in to see expat Taffy. I'm not sure where in Thailand he lives. It's probably the most pervy part, so wherever that is.
Pattaya or Pattaya, however you say it.
Yeah, that's probably where he lives then.
No, a lot of the I hate the phrase expat. A lot of the British people live in Chiang Mai.
Yeah.
But then isn't he like a 75-year-old man with a Thai girlfriend?
No, he's the same age as Grandpa.
Yeah.
So he's
so he's an
81. Bangkok. What?
I don't know.
If you were telling me in Thai, Brian, I don't understand Thai. Could you try that again in English? Good evening, Dave Messer.
Right, Dave.
How you doing, pal? Rolf Halm, how are you? Anyway, the title to tonight's video, or tonight's stream podcast. What you tell me what you think it is. Has it become a podcast naturally, or is it a stream, or what is it? I don't even know. When Callum and I have been doing this now for 29 weeks. That's a very long time.
It's a long time.
I bet Joe Rogan isn't counting weeks anymore.
Yeah, he's on episode like 2000 and whatever.
Yeah.
Chris Chambers, I have a question for you. You said that you were a Welshman living in Australia. No, I won't say the name. Is your wife a teacher? And is she also from Swansea?
Let us know in the side chat. These are the important questions. You know, if you've read the description under this video, it says we'll be asking the important questions tonight. Well, that was one of them.
That was the question.
That was one of them. So, yeah, the title was just going to be, is there an afterlife? I thought it was an interesting question to explore with you guys. Why did I say guys?
I don't know.
I just want to end the stream now. Why did that come out like that?
I don't know. That moustache has made you goofy.
I was going to say it's the tash.
I know, the comedy tash.
I can't wait. I was hoping my moustache wax. I tell you what, right? I nearly shat myself last night. I thought, my son's a barber, so he said, get some tash wax and you'll be able to style it and it'll be cool and all this stuff. 18 quid for it's like the size of a tub of pocket-sized Vaseline. I don't know if it like jumps out and just intermingles with your whiskers and then curls it for you, but for 18 quid, they better do something.
Oh, Chris Chambers, that's very disappointing. My theory was wrong. And the only reason I brought it up was because my form tutor was, she married and her name became Chambers, and she also moved to Australia. So I was wondering, that would be like the weirdest coincidence ever, but...
Yeah, it would have been. Good evening, Christopher Shapley, DVM, CVA, CVCH, CVFT. I was looking at the wrong place again. How are you, Chris? Nice to see you, pal, as always. Officer Crown, good day to you, sir. It's not a tash, it's a dead caterpillar. I'm quite liking it. And I'm nearly getting, I like the tash to be long enough so that when you smile, you can only see that like the two front teeth poking through, so you look like a little bunny rabbit when you smile at people.
You're going to be like Speedy Gonzales.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You have to put the cowboy hat on.
It's not in, yeah. It's in my wardrobe upstairs. I keep it in there because it's the one hat I've got that I genuinely am afraid of damaging. Christopher Sharpley says, I was thinking about growing my mustache out too, but I'm afraid I'd look like a walking Amber Alert. Yeah, I don't know. I just wasn't feeling the beard, and I don't know. I literally watched the video. There's a channel called Cinnamon Toast Ken, and I clicked on one of his videos because it had a really interesting title and thumbnail. Maybe I should start paying attention to him. And Ken was rocking a tash with just a bit of scruff, and I thought, oh, I like that. So I went in the house. And straight away he said to Mrs. Blinder, where's the clippers? And then shout, Carl, you got clippers, haven't you? I'm very easily influenced, unfortunately. But
it's funny because you and Jordan are the same, but you will just change your facial hairstyle on a whim. Jordan is exactly the same, but I can't. It's weird. I shaved. Oh, well, I have clean shaven once since my 19th birthday.
And that was when you were in Thailand, wasn't it?
Have I mentioned I've been there? That's crazy.
I remember you sending a picture on. We thought you'd been replaced by like a mini-me.
I sent it into my group chat with my friends, and everyone was just like, holy shit.
Yeah, you did. You looked like 14.
I looked 18 immediately. Yeah, it was weird.
Well, even though I'm too scared to try and pronounce your name, Kutikati.
What'd you call me?
Kutikati? I'll take that all day long. What do I look 50 now instead of 50 instead of 52, do I? But no, I like it, and I stopped caring what people thought about the way I look a very long time ago. So thank you, pal.
That's obvious, lucky here.
Exactly. Thank you, Rolf Halm, for 20 sexy monies. But you didn't want to say anything. You were just being a legend. Very much appreciated. So yeah. So anyway, there are two kinds of people: bearded men and women. I know, but I'm a mustache guy now. I can start using, in Family Guy when Peter grows a mustache, and then I can never remember his name. And his boyfriend's name is Jeffrey.
Huh?
The gay character.
In Family Guy?
Yes. Oh, bloody hell, what's his name?
Are you on about like the, oh no.
Yeah. And there's one where he rings
name?
Jeffrey and he goes, Jeffrey, Peter's got a mustache. And I just recorded myself and I just replaced Peter with Creaky. So I've got a clip on there on the editing software that goes, oh no, Creaky's got a mustache. So you know what's going to be getting used in tomorrow's video. Not that I want to give anything away. That's really annoying.
I'm Googling
Bruce.
Bruce.
Thank you.
There we go.
Hakuna Matata. Yeah, Bruce. Yeah. So I'll be using. No, it's not Stewie. But in fairness, I did say the gay character, so it's
yeah. So
it could be Stewie.
I know you're trying to segue into the actual main topic.
Yeah,
again, but I'm going to keep it on Family Guy a second. I've been watching old Family Guy recently on.
Not Square Family Guy.
Yes.
Oh, I can't.
Oh,
see.
Yeah, but you're weird. That's a you problem.
I can't. It makes me. It's like CC's videos. The first thing I do when I download one of his videos is crop it to the right aspect ratio and color correct it.
I mean, yeah.
I hope people realize that his videos don't look that good naturally. I fix them for him for some bizarre reason.
Well, it's the fact you won't watch them anyway, but I've been watching old Family Guy recently, and they're just so much funnier than today's Family Guy. So much funnier. Because I think Seth MacFarlane stopped working on Family Guy, I think, after season 9.
Yeah, I think it was. No, he was there for season 10 because that was when they went 16:9. That was the last season he worked on. I'm sure I remember him saying that in an interview.
Well, Jordan is my Family Guy encyclopedia.
Yeah.
And he seems to think so I don't know what episode or what season this is. The one where Stewie and Brian are in the vault.
Yeah.
That is apparently the last episode Seth MacFarlane wrote. So I don't know when that was.
Right.
I think you are right. I think that might be season 10.
Because I remember him being interviewed and he said, once we switched over to 16:9, that was when I was leaving the show in, I know he's still, he was.
No, but
now he's basically just a voice actor, isn't he?
That is just all he does. He doesn't write anything. He just comes in like all the other actors.
Yeah.
Because he said, they're very capable. They know how to make Family Guy, and he is just...
But Jordan can hear us because he's laying on the sofa in the conservatory, and I know this is on in the kitchen. But he's far too cool to be in the side chat, obviously. So maybe he's screaming at the TV or something.
He's too busy looking for loafers.
Yeah, looking for penny loafers.
With flames on them. Sick shoes, bro.
Yeah. The episode when Quagmire was training Meg and gives her a glass of raw eggs, but there's no yolks. She just said, yeah. Oh, dear me. But anyway, so we've gone off on a tangent again. I only added for atheists as an afterthought because I just thought that would be a more interesting question to ask people, because I certainly know what I believe, and I think it's, and I've heard other atheists say this, just like it was, and I'm sure this is how Neil deGrasse Tyson describes it as well. It's like asking what was it like before you were born?
Yeah.
You got no way of knowing.
Yeah. So like you said, the thing about adding for atheists, I think the primary reason was what happens after you die seemed like just a bit of a morbid title for a Sunday, a light entertainment.
Yeah.
So
but that was like the original question, isn't it? You know, what happens after you die?
Well, yeah, that was where we, that was the jumping off point for this topic.
Yeah.
Hold on, just in case Nathan Oakley is watching this.
Just in case.
I know, I bloody lisped then. Ruined it.
Good evening, Sutkettle. How are you, pal? Are you saying good evening, CC? There's no way CC's in it.
Cianci. Cricky and Callum.
I'm obsessed with CC.
I know.
He is definitely my favorite. Do you know Friday's video? Friday's video is doing really well. It's getting lots of engagement.
We've gone off on tangent again already.
Lots of comments and everything, right? But it's... He barely mentioned Flat Earth. He would just go off on a tangent, right, about why it's disgusting that it's so expensive to park in New York. And no, I said that. But he was saying that they've just digitized parking. So obviously now they've got all your details because, he's not on YouTube or anything. And, but he somehow managed then to find a way to tie that back to Flat Earth. And the reason I called the video, is this the stupidest Flat Earth? I forgot what I called it. Something like that. Is this the stupidest Flat Earth proof or argument or whatever it was I said? And he said that when the truth about Flat Earth comes out, the world economy will collapse. In fact, he said the global economy.
Did he actually say the global economy?
Yeah. The global economy will collapse when the truth about Flat Earth comes out. But why? I mean...
What would it be called? The flatal economy?
Yeah. The
discal economy?
Yeah, I'll have to change everything. GPS will have to be FPS. That'll be confusing for video editors. They won't know whether they're editing a clip or trying to stop themselves from getting lost. Kevin Meredith says, I think the afterlife is going to turn out to be a tangent. What do you mean, Kev?
I think that's just purgatory, innit? Purgatory is just a tangent for death.
Yeah. But I don't know. That's what what does the chat think? What do any of you think happens?
I'm very curious.
Once it's good night, Irene.
Yeah, I'm curious to get everyone else's opinion really before we get into it, because it's like you said, and the jumping off point. The question was, bit of a look behind the curtain here. We got a Google Doc, and we have topic ideas, and we meet and we say, which one of these do you think we should talk about this week? That one's been on there since the start.
Yeah.
And
I think calling it a Google Doc is a bit generous. It's more like a digital post-it note stuck on the fridge.
Yeah, basically.
Because we've done 2 of the topics now. There's only another 3 on there, and 2 of them look boring.
All right, well, forgive me for trying to make this look like a professional operation. But
there we are. Free Will says there is no afterlife. Is that like Free Willy? But now he's older, he's calling himself Free Will to try and sound more age appropriate. Steve Deacon says we rot. I think like a bit of cheer on a Sunday night, but. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that that once the final sparks of life have left your body, that there's nothing.
So I agree with you. However, there's so many. Well, I feel like there's a lot of context missing here before we really dive into it. I think we need to go, first of all, our definition of afterlife and all that stuff. Because
yeah, but I meant it in the literal sense. What happens after?
So,
life?
like when your heart stops.
Yeah, after life has ended, then.
But yeah, because this is one of the reasons I think it's such an interesting topic to talk about. Because on a logical, scientific level, I think your heart stops, and it goes black, and like that comparison has been made by a lot of people. It's like what it was like before you were born.
Yeah, and it's not just Neil deGrasse Tyson. I've heard say.
I've heard Ricky Gervais say it as well.
Has he said something similar? Is he?
Yeah,
but
I like looking at it as like a philosophical question as well, because if you look at those near-death experience videos I was talking about earlier, where the point of the conversation where we went, stop, we'll do this as a topic.
Yeah. That's why I've pulled this comment up. I was in a 3-day induced coma. I believe there's definitely something after we go. I experience sound, visuals, and feelings out of this planet. And that's the thing, see, that I don't think you can see, but my brain now wants to find a scientific explanation. What's going on in the old grey matter, electrically speaking? Not electric. You know what I mean? Brain impulses and
what's
neurons firing, and what's lighting up and what's not, and how does that relate to what you may have seen, but at the very least, to yourself, you're certain you saw it.
Yeah, well, that's why I want to like preface it by saying it depends on, like, I can't answer the question as straightforward as you can, because I think it depends on the context of the conversation. Are we talking about science?
Yeah.
In that case, the heart stops, brain shuts off.
Yeah.
Good night, Irene.
Yeah.
How many times do you reckon we're going to say good night, Irene tonight?
Loads. It'll make a good one of these.
Yeah. But then, so I can't remember who said the comment about being in a coma.
Maps.
Oh, Maps Awakening.
Yeah.
So, like they were saying, it's that thing of that was 100% real going on inside the mind.
Yeah.
Like I was saying just now about those near-death experiences, I've been going through a bit of a phase of watching them recently, as morbid as it sounds. Not because I'm fascinated by how people die. It's the similarity between everyone's experience on the quote-unquote other side.
Yeah, yeah.
But what they are describing is essentially a super intense psychedelic experience.
Yeah.
Like, I've also seen a lot of videos of people describing DMT experiences.
Yeah.
And if you watch someone describe DMT or ayahuasca and watch someone describe a near-death experience, their stories, obviously they've all got their like unique person, because a lot of people, it's interesting, you can see where people's beliefs are when they tell their near-death story. Because some people will say, I met Jesus.
Yeah.
But everyone says, I met some being on the other side, and they felt like love, and I was home, and they were welcome. But like, that's how people describe DMT and psychedelic experiences.
Yeah.
So what, like you said,
That's what I mean. What's
what is
going on in
firing
your,
off?
yeah.
And the reason I like the afterlife phrase is because I feel like we're getting very jumbled up here. We'll go back to the chat in a
Excuse me.
minute. I like talking about stuff
Yeah.
like this. So like time perception is obviously a thing and it's a scientific thing.
Mhm.
Time is relative. Apparently you only dream for, don't quote me on this, I want to say it's like 20 seconds.
It's a short amount of time, isn't it?
A night.
Apparently.
But like in your mind, that's hours and hours and hours.
Yeah.
How long do these, once those things are firing off in your brain after you've technically died,
Yeah.
that can feel like an eternity. So that's why I like to look at it more in a philosophical.
Yeah. While I'm listening to you, I'm looking back through the chat here, and lots of different people are saying lots of different things. Like Chris is talking about reincarnation, which is part of Buddhism.
Yeah.
Handsome says reincarnation works for me. Rob Hoyle says, I find it hard to believe we die and our consciousness goes off like a switch.
I think Rob Hoyle, sorry, I feel like I'm really taking over this episode.
And Miss Kitty Wampa says, just remember the last lap. It's on you. So what? I don't understand the context of that that comment, but it's one of those things. I think there's so many different people who've had so many different experiences, like Mamap's awakening now. So the hospital explained it was delirium and drugs they were on. I think differently, just my thoughts. And that's what I mean, see? This is one of those things. It's not like when somebody believes they possess the ability to communicate with the dead, which they definitely aren't doing for money. Because, I mean, who would possibly pretend to be able to speak to your dead relatives if you're going to pay them to? I mean, almost never happens. But it's not the same thing at all. But what I mean is, with this type of, I don't even really want to use the word claim, because this is what Mamaps feels that they experienced. But I'm as sure as I can be, while not being sure at all, that there's got to be an explanation for it. Because as atheists, there we are. I saw something earlier on, right? I get loads of stuff, loads of atheistic content coming up on TikTok, right? And there was one that came up earlier on, and it was one of these Christian religious types sitting there waiting for somebody to interact with them, and so they can have like one of these live debates.
Yeah.
Right? And the caption on the screen was, all atheists are going to hell. So now, as far as threats go, that's not exactly going to cut an atheist to the quick, is it? Because you're threatening that they're going to go to a place which they don't believe exists anyway. Because the concept of hell is part of Christianity, a part of religion in general.
I feel like it is mainly a Christian thing as well. Hell, isn't it? I don't think it is in a lot of other religions.
It's like a tool for control. Believe in God or else.
Yeah.
And, do as I say, not as I do, and all that, that kind of nonsense. The Bible is riddled with it. But I just found it funny that a Christian thought that was a threat to somebody who doesn't believe in God, because you're just threatening them with something else that they don't believe in, because it's part of believing in God. There's nobody who believes in God and doesn't believe hell exists.
Well, no, it depends on the religion, I guess, doesn't it? Because I don't think that in Judaism, I don't think they believe in hell.
No?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I wouldn't have a clue. I wouldn't even guess. I just don't know. But
Howard described Jewish hell as acid reflux.
Well, in that case, I'm already there then. And I thought it was an age thing. But I'm in Jewish hell.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Indie Brony. Was it you that left a comment the other day and you exposed yourself as being a Geordie? You know, why I man, when you ganyem and all that malarkey. Was that you, or am I just making stuff up again?
I also saw that comment.
Yeah, I'm sure it was Indie. I feel like the little Chinese boy from Raiders of the Last Ark. Lost Ark, not Last Ark. Right, what I was going to say something else now. Hemophiliac, well, I'm boned. Well, lucky you. Hell is Cardiff on a Sunday morning. Yeah. That's yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that.
Or Swansea on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, yeah, just pick a day. Right, let's keep the conversation on the topic. From an energy perspective, it can't be created or destroyed. On one point of view, is that there is a part of us, maybe our consciousness in a form of energy, so we stop existing but change form. Yeah, this is why we thought it would be a good idea to talk about, because it's such an interesting thing. Like,
yeah, I'm so curious to get Chris's perspective on it.
Yeah,
because I know you kind of follow Buddhist principles in your day to day, don't you? Which, like, that's something we as a family all tend to not lean towards. I'm not saying we are Buddhist,
no,
but
there's elements of Buddhism that
we all have it.
Particularly like.
I mean, yeah, you've got the Om symbol tattooed on your face.
Yeah,
I have it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I have it tattooed. Oh my god! Hold on, I can't even
show your hand. Yeah,
that's harder than it looks. Isn't
it is, and it's a nightmare. But yeah, so you know, if I was ever to, you know, do you claim a religion? I don't know. Buddhism would be the only one where I think, well, you know.
Well, yeah, I think that's because they don't worship like a deity, do they? They don't. Yeah. There's not like a benevolent being.
No.
They kind of. Sorry, did you pull that up? Did you just do the thing then? Yeah, they go on principles, and they believe in karma, and it's kind of. I don't know if this is quite dismissive of what Buddhism is, but it's just. Well, no, it isn't. It isn't dismissive, because they do consider themselves like a philosophy over a religion.
I think
in a sense.
I saw a video last week of a Buddhist monk talking about this, and he said, and he's obviously a Buddhist monk, so he is a religious Buddhist.
Yeah,
if that's even a thing, as opposed to being somebody who just follows the sort of the philosophy of Buddhism.
Yeah, but like, isn't sort of a monk kind of like they kind of sacrifice worldly pleasures?
Yeah, they're not allowed to own anything.
No,
all they've got is their alms bowl, a bag, and 2 sets of robes.
But you know how like a priest,
and a vest, but
you know how like a priest or whatever takes a vow of whatever and then just bangs children.
Yeah.
No, but you know how a priest takes like a vow of
chastity.
And all for the church. Like monks, I think,
married to God.
Yeah, whereas I think monks give up their worldly possessions to like on their quest to reach nirvana.
Yeah.
To be able to share their wisdom with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Buddhism just seems a lot more selfless than every other.
And I've never seen a video of a Buddhist monk, you know, trying to say that the earth is only 6,000 years old and saying, if you don't become a Buddhist, you're going to hell. You know, you don't see any of that. It seems like, I think, for the most part, a very peaceful religion, I guess.
It is a very, very...
For the religion, because not everybody that says they're Buddhist is a religious. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like obviously cultural. There is elements of that in every. There's a lot of like cultural Jewish people who they're not. Seth Rogen's a good example. He will say, you know, I'm Jewish, but he's openly an atheist.
Yeah.
but he's culturally Jewish.
Yeah.
So it's the same in a lot of Asian countries. I guess a lot of Muslim people
Yeah.
are cultural Muslims
That's the
over
thing.
practicing.
Another argument from atheists against religion that I've heard is that religion is geographical. So if you were born in America, you're gonna be Christian for the most part.
And I guess Britain
And
as
you're
well.
gonna believe in God and Jesus and Mary and Joseph and the apostles and the 10 commandments and all that good stuff.
Yeah, Western religions.
But if you were born in the Middle East, then you're gonna be more than likely Muslim.
Yeah. And it's funny because not all of our religions, but the Western religions tend to be the newer ones. So that's why, like you just said, you don't really hear Buddhists or that kind of going around saying the earth is 6,000 years old.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what their belief is on that, but probably because they're from like Thailand and, Asian countries where their history is longer than that. So they know that it's not 6,000 years.
Yeah.
How long has China been an active like civilization? Well, I mean, that's a topic for a different episode that we want to talk about.
But yeah, it's definitely, in part geographic. So if you were speaking to Kent Hovind and he's a devout Christian and all around scumbag and definitive proof that there is no hate like Christian love.
Yeah.
But if exactly the same horrible, dweeby, twisted little excuse for a man had been born in Nepal, he'd be Buddhist.
Yeah.
If he was born in, I don't know, in Pakistan or
which one would he be?
Yeah, but that's that's why
no, that's touchy, that one though.
Yeah.
In Pakistan, because it is Christianity and Is it Muslims in Pakistan?
I believe so. Yeah, but
is.
the point the reason I mentioned Pakistan and the point I was going to make is it's not like what's the word I'm looking for now? It's not like a hard and fast rule, because obviously if we know Indian people who they and the boys were born they're as Welsh as we are, but their parents came over in the 60s or 70s or whatever it was, so their religion isn't necessarily geographical. Then it's they are Muslim or they're Sikh because
but it is geographical because it's their heritage. So their heritage is geographical.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, you could say it that way as well.
Yeah, if someone's parents or grandparents came over in the 60s.
Yeah.
And like you said, if they're Indian, they might be Sikh. And there's a lot of like the guy you used to work with years ago.
Yeah.
Not a religious guy particularly.
No.
But wears the turban, practices.
Yeah.
The traditional
the traditions, and he said, but I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not overly religious. I just believe that as a Sikh man, I should wear a turban and I should, not let anyone see my hair. Which to me is weird now, because there's Sikh guys on TikTok I know how to tie a turban.
Yeah, I see a lot of those videos.
Yeah, and it's just I really want to know now. I really want to know. Steve Case says the neuroscientist from Big Bang Theory, Amy, has a great YouTube channel discussing near-death experiences with scientists who have studied over 4,000 cases. That is very interesting. That is interesting. I can never remember how to say her bloody name.
Mayam
Balik. That's right. Yeah, but I didn't know that. I'll have a look. You were probably listening to a Tibetan Buddhist monk. Chris, you were bang on the money. He is a Tibetan Buddhist monk. Buddhist. Yeah, they're similar to Buddhist monks, but they jump out from behind things and scare you. But I don't know, what does everyone think? Does some of you who are sort of consider yourselves to be people of science and logic and reason, do you have some sort of hope that there's something out there beyond what we're all experiencing now? Because again, I think that would be
I think it's definitely a very I don't know what word to use to describe it, because I'm seeing a lot of people in the chat.
yeah.
I saw one person a little while back now just being like, I have a hard time like
Accepting there's nothing.
that there's nothing, and that's why I brought up it as a science versus philosophical question, because
Yeah.
religion aside, it's funny. Religious people use this argument to prove God, whereas I see it as a very interesting thing, but I think it's more about psychology than religion.
Yeah.
Everyone prays in their last minutes when they know they're about to die. Do you know what I mean? If you get hit, if your plane is going down, everyone prays. Everyone goes,
Yeah.
I'll risk it. If in those last moments you start thinking irrationally, like you will do everything to comfort yourself. So everyone kind of gets more philosophical in their final moment, and that's why I think a lot of people struggle to deal with it. And that's why I think the way people tell themselves, like for me, it's those near-death experiences.
Yeah.
And like I said about time perception,
Yeah.
that's like a weirdly comforting thought, because it's like the reserve tank.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I'm done, I've still got a little bit of, there's going to be that one last adventure in your mind before curtains, you know?
Yeah. You know, because I've experienced it, you know, when my auntie died a couple of years ago. She, you know, in the last sort of days of her life, she was having full-blown conversations with relatives that died 40 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, and she was convinced, no. They came in to see how I was doing, and, you know, but again, she was up to her bins in bloody morphine, and, you know, so what contribution does that make to what you think you've been experiencing?
Yeah. But, and again, not to keep repeating the same point, but that's why I think it's hard to have this conversation and not end it at nothing when you're just talking about science, because you say that, I don't want to, you know, put anyone's business out there, but when my friend's mother died a few years back, same thing with her in her last days. When they went to visit her, she said so and so and so and so was here.
Yeah.
They came to see me, blah blah blah, and they're people who have been dead for years.
Yeah.
And again, she was on a lot of medication. She was barely, you know, coherent.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I don't think the question is really, did they experience it? It's how
Why?
they experienced it, and why, what caused them to be so convinced that they were talking to a relative that died 40 years ago that they were quite comfortable to say, yeah, she came in and we had a lovely chat. It was nice to catch. It's like, he died when I was a small child.
Yeah.
It's just a weird thing. Dave Mess has comment.
Right.
What happens if you're born in America and die on vacation in Japan? I don't know. I would imagine that most religions have got their own version of heaven, but I don't think there's like a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory style glass elevator that takes you up there based on where you were when you died.
You know, I don't. What religions do they practice in Japan? Like, what is a standard Japanese?
Do you know? I don't know.
Like afterlife. Like, what is there? I actually don't know that.
I don't know. Are they Buddhist in Japan? I honestly have no idea.
I don't know.
My Maps Awakening, always appreciate Creaky and Callum to stir up the convo. P.S. Creaky, I was the cheeky Geordie commenter. Yeah, no, I like that because my grandfather was a Geordie from Durham. Miss Kitty Wampus's comments are really confusing. View actress. I don't know if they're not a native English speaker and they're practicing, or if they're trying to confuse me. I don't understand it. Yeah, that's what I think as well, Bri. And you know, it is what it is. You know, what are you going to do when you're not alive anymore anyway?
Yeah,
I don't know. You know, it's Yeah, I hope there is, but seriously doubt it. And that's the thing, is I don't think there's anything wrong with hoping that there's something,
No, and
whether you're religious or not.
yeah, I think everyone will always this is a bad misquote of Darren Brown, but everyone's beliefs are just the story they tell themselves.
Yeah.
So whichever way you build that up in your head, some people in the chat now tonight are perfectly okay with going, you included, perfectly okay with going, no, it's flick of a switch. That's it. Nothing happens.
Yeah.
You know, there's some people, I don't doubt there's some people in the chat who think something does happen. Maybe, whether it's traditional heaven or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think everyone just has.
Yeah. Yeah. Kev Murray, this comment's an interesting one to me as well. It might be an age thing. When I was a kid, I wasn't really worried about an afterlife as I had my whole life in front of me. Now that I'm over 50, I'm thinking about it more, still not sure though. Yeah, that's, you know, that
ties into the stories we tell ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, it's, you know, and it's a morbid way to think, but, you know, based on the law of averages, I got, I don't know, 25 years if I'm lucky.
I mean, if I'm lucky, inheritance.
But you know what I mean, don't you? And I think Kev's comment is bang on, because you do, as you get older, you don't think about death when you're a kid.
Sometimes. I don't know.
Yeah, but you know what I mean?
I suppose you don't really think about it until you experience it.
Yeah.
In like the family for the first time. So I guess the first time I really would have like contemplated death would have been 2009 when Grandpa died.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess that would have been the first time it was like, whoa.
Yeah, because it was your first experience of it from an immediate relative, rather than just, oh yeah, you remember Auntie Fanny, you met once.
Yeah.
That one time you went to,
you know, because
whatever.
Before him there was, there was like other family members but distant.
Yeah.
And it was like, like your other grandmother, my great-grandma, she died before Grandpa, but I was 6.
Yeah.
So you don't really understand it there.
No.
But it is natural, like you were saying, to as you get older, you do start.
Yeah. Your mortality becomes something that you do think about.
Yeah.
Brian Pop Robson says, we are in a sense recycled by returning our constituents to the soil and the air if you're cremated. Yeah. I've seen physicists talk about this as well. We are basically made up of the most abundant 4 elements in the universe.
Yeah.
And we are literally released back into, if you're cremated, well, technically, if you're buried as well, because, you're becoming technically, I suppose you're becoming part of the earth.
Not technically, literally.
Yeah.
Again, this is a philosophy thing, but I believe, because I read this book last year, I believe Alan Watts has something about, you technically have always existed, you exist now, and you always will, but for that reason, we are made up of the 4 or 5 key ingredients of the universe.
Yeah.
Those particles that we're made out of were floating about in the universe.
Yeah.
Then we're here. Then we die, and those particles, like
they just go back out there.
The atoms, everything we're made up of, they don't die. They, go back out into the universe, and technically, you're always there. You always have been.
Yeah,
you always will be.
Yeah, I would love to think I'd be able to meet with my nanny and granddad again after I die, but I don't think it's going to happen. There's nothing but a hole in the ground or fire. Yeah, it's but it doesn't it doesn't bother me that I think there's nothing, but I find it very interesting that these near-death experiences and the people who've experienced them believe that they've had like a glimpse into the other side. And I'll say they've definitely experienced something.
Yeah, the experience.
But you can experience skydiving when you dream, even if you've never flown.
Yeah.
You can experience falling off a building, even if you never have.
only the last couple of days, I can't remember which night it was, but I had a dream that I was hanging off the side, on the outside, mind you, in regular clothes, of the International Space Station, afraid I was going to fall. Doesn't mean I experienced it. It was a dream. However, those, after the near-death experience, it's very comforting. Isn't it? So all right, we'll address the super chat, and then I have a question for you.
Yeah. But there, before we address the super chat, reincarnation, what's that? Reincarnation makes more sense than eternal torment. What kind of loving and merciful God sends his creation, whose life is a comparative vapor, to eternal torment? Believe in him or else, innit? That's all part of it. Sadly, it is for a lot of people.
Ooh, super chat. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Jim Daniels. If you're good, you live forever, and if you're bad, you'll die when you die. Grand Funk Railroad, 1971. Myself, when it's time to go, it's time to go. Good night, Irene. Yeah, and that's kind of, it's one of those things, you never know which days you last. And I've always had this sort of thought that the second you appear in this world, the second you're born, your life, the end point is maybe a foregone conclusion,
See, but
again, some people, a lot of people will probably disagree with that.
I mean,
you make your own luck. You can choose to live dangerously or live safely.
So,
which I get.
It's
but
actually
I think,
interesting.
But I think, hang on, let me just finish. I think that's my mind's way of removing any element of control I have over it, therefore removing the need to worry about it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So that's your comforting story you tell yourself to be okay with also having the opinion of once it goes, it goes. Because you kind of go...
Mm-hmm.
And that, I guess, that opens up a bigger conversation about free will.
He's on the side chat.
Oh yeah. But yeah, so that kind of answers my question. I was going to ask you, so if the comment about I'd love it if I was to meet my nanny and my granddad, that, right? So the people who have these near-death experiences, when they do, I can only assume that is then also what potentially happens when you die, and then you never come back. Do you know that? Those same neurons must be firing off in your brain. That experience must be adjacent to.
Yeah.
Is that as your last hurrah? If you're not coming back anyway, is that not like in itself like quite a comforting thought?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, I know what you mean. Yeah, it's like my thoughts on the day you're born is the day it's decided. So I was born on November the 11th, 1972, and the second I was born, my brain tells me that instant it was decided when it's going to be my turn to check out.
Yeah.
And like I say, maybe that's just my comforting thought.
Yeah, because it's interesting because that technically...
So that I don't have to worry, oh shit, what if that falls on me now and caves my skull in and I die? What if I get hit by a bus? What if I drown? Or what if I,
Yeah, but it's interesting because that technically doesn't align with your...
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But
that's what I mean.
Everyone has some kind of illogical, like tangle logic, whatever, when it comes to death. Everyone has something.
It's just the human condition, isn't it? We sort of predisposed to look for patterns in things. And half the time, all you do when you see patterns is freak yourself out because you didn't need to see a pattern in it. But that's why pareidolia is a thing, because our brains are constantly trying. You know, you look over there. Oh, right. What? Oh, that's a plug. Oh, that's a red baseball cap. That's a fedora hat. That's a light bulb. You know, so we're always kind of looking to make sense of what we see around us. And unfortunately, and conspiracy theorists would be a pretty good example of this. Sometimes your mind fills in the blanks so much that it creates a whole new version of what is going to happen or what has happened. You know, people who've got the tendency to catastrophize over things.
Yeah.
You know, like Di said last week, no, I haven't got a headache, I got a brain tumor.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thinking. But I think even outside of religion, I think we're all looking for a certain amount of comfort to kind of to get us through life.
Yeah, and yeah, everyone has one.
Yeah, and that's why I say, and I've said in nearly all the videos I make about creationism, I got no issue if somebody wants to believe in God and that they, you know, they get greeted by Saint Peter at the pearly gates when they die. That's fine, but yeah. I don't.
I draw the line at don't tell me that that's what I need to follow in order to get there too.
Yeah, yeah.
Because there is a different place to me, to you, to everyone else. There to you is nowhere.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
but you know, and that's like the thing with Christianity is if that's your comfort and that's what makes you feel happy and content with the way you're living your life, absolutely fine. But you never, ever, ever see an atheist content creator whose purpose is to stop somebody from believing in God. The argument is only created because they refuse to accept that we just have a lack of belief in that God and all the other ones for the most part.
Would you say that the purpose of a atheist content creator isn't to change people's minds?
No, I don't think so. It's because most of them, some, I don't know, maybe
I find that quite interesting.
Yeah, for me, no.
So
that's never been my intent with any of the religious videos I've published.
Would you not consider someone like Aaron Ra?
Yeah.
That's primarily what he does, isn't it? I don't actually know who he is.
Yeah. Yeah. Aaron is a Satanist as well, though, so he's not just an atheist, you know. It's but I don't think he's trying to stop people from. Maybe he is. Maybe I misunderstand him.
But that's so. If that's not the purpose, I guess is you're trying to inform people. What is the purpose of atheistic content? If not to make a theist scratch their head and maybe go, do you know what? For example, is it Stephanie?
Steph, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you and Aaron Ra.
Yeah, we were doing exactly this, and she was coming on to give us a piece of her mind until Aaron said something which made her go, oh, crap, he might be right. In fact, I think he is right.
So is that then a win for atheists?
Yeah.
If so,
I
guess the point is to...
Yeah. So maybe it's just me that literally doesn't give a crap whether somebody believes in God or not. It doesn't matter to me. It has no impact on my life or the way I choose to live my life.
But I don't think they care either. I'm not saying Aaron Ra cares that people believe in God.
No.
I think most people have the same opinion of you, is kind of what you believe is up to you.
Yeah.
But
don't try to force it onto other people. That's what I don't like.
Yeah, and stop trying to like run countries based off your book. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when you know, a lot of it all over the world, it's always been like it comes and goes, but we seem to be in a spike at the minute of like legislation and Christianity in Britain and the UK. They seem to be getting very entangled, and I'm not happy about it, but that's what I mean. Like, as soon as you start pushing, you'll never hear a Buddhist calling someone else a bad person because they're not a Buddhist.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean, see, and that's another thing that I dislike about religion as a whole, because the overwhelming majority of religions, with Buddhism being the only one I can think of off the top of my head that doesn't do this, is only they are right. Only their God is the real God. Only their version of how you should live is the right version of how you should live.
Yeah. And that's why I find Christians especially quite hard to have conversations with, because I said it on you when I went to London a couple of months back, and that guy approached us outside the, African guy who wanted to talk to me about Jesus. And I let him go on. It was a long story. I did already tell it, so I won't bore everyone. But I genuinely did want to have a conversation with him, but I know it's pointless.
Yeah.
It was because I wasn't going to disrespect him, but I had queries.
Yeah.
And I just want to know, how do you rationalize this aspect of your religion?
Yeah. So it's like when I go to London, right? Because this happened to you in London, didn't it? So especially on Oxford Street, you always see a lot of these street evangelists.
Yeah.
And we can be walking along, and I can feel Mrs. Blinder's hand grabbing me tighter and steering me away from those street preachers, or I'm sure they call themselves something, but it's just ridiculous. They stood on a busy shopping street screaming at people that they're gonna go to hell.
Yeah.
It's like, I love being told I'm a worthless human being by a complete stranger screaming it through a microphone while I'm trying to buy a new pair of Skechers because I'm old.
It's such a weird tactic.
Imagine if I went now and got a microphone and went and stood on the middle of the bloody Kingsway in town, screaming at the top of my lungs, God's not real. Once we die, it's nothing, just black. I end up bloody locked up.
Everyone would think you were a lunatic.
Yeah, exactly.
Or they would put you on suicide watch.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. And yet when somebody does that, who in their opinion is promoting God, for want of a better term, that seems to be more socially acceptable than the alternative, the direct opposite, which would be an atheist screaming at people that there is no God and that this is it. It
would be strange, wouldn't it?
Yeah, double standards.
And it's so strange that there are still these street preachers. They're everywhere. You don't have to go to London to find them. But like you said, you can go into Swansea and they will be there.
Yeah, every Saturday there used to be
outside Primark.
Outside Primark, usually a group of Chinese people.
Yeah,
and they would be singing and preaching and handing out leaflets, and everybody just throws on the floor in front of them, and it must be soul destroying. They must really think that they're going to be rewarded for what they're doing, but the reality is, you're doing it for nobody and nothing.
Well, yeah, but it's been going on for so long. And that's why I said it's mad that people still do it. Because if you place those people in 1885, let's say, Swansea City, still Swansea, but go back like 150 years or whatever, they fit right in. It makes sense. It seems to match the surroundings, but you plonk them in modern day and you think, what are these nutters doing? It would be like if someone was still going around Swansea being the town crier.
Yeah.
So what do you, we haven't done this for centuries.
Yeah. It's that's the thing, see, is religion is so out of date.
Yeah.
And it's so like 2,000 years ago.
That is so 2,000 years ago.
You know what I mean, though? It's got no place in civilized society.
No, not
as long as they keep using it as a tool to try and control with fear.
Yeah, that's the thing, is for the last probably longer than 2,000 years, I don't know, but they've used organized religion
Yeah,
to
control people,
to
control populations.
Yeah, to, you know, sway popular opinion, you know, without going into all that. But homophobia, for the most part, is only because of religion.
Yeah,
only because if you ask someone who's homophobic to tell you why without mentioning religion, it's almost impossible.
I don't know, mind. I met somebody earlier on this year. I'll tell you after, and he was an atheist, but he was a massive homophobe.
Yeah, but I think that's just being a prick.
He was also he was English as well. So
there we go.
You know, he's a triple threat guy. But I don't know.
That's what I mean.
I don't
Either
know.
for religious reasons, or you just got to admit that it's because you're a piece of shit.
Yeah,
there is no rational way to. But it all stems from organized religion.
Right, Dave.
I agree with Dave, Carl. No atheist in YouTube is trying to convert Christians to atheism, but there are hundreds of Christians trying to convince you God is real.
But I don't think it's converting. That's not what I mean. Is it's to make you question it. Though.
Yeah, this is what I feel I do when I make a video. I know 9. So if I make 10 videos about religion, 9 of them will be about young Earth creationism, because sorry, but it's as stupid as believing the Earth is flat, right? Because there's overwhelming evidence to support evolution is I couldn't make a bigger understatement if I tried, right? But it's, what was I saying?
Evolution.
Yeah. So I like to think that when all I'm doing is pointing out the scientific inconsistencies in what they claim as fact.
Yeah, but
like Noah's flood. Where did the water come from?
The tap.
And the bigger question is, where did it go?
I've seen Evan Almighty, and I believe it was a
it was a busted dam.
It was
wasn't
a dam, and it was because of corrupt
politicians.
Yeah.
Starting to sound like CC there, Carl.
Yeah, well, don't you look stupid now? I just.
But you know what I mean. So where did all the water come from? Where did it go? Now, Ray Comfort, in the video I did on Wednesday, which absolutely bombed and made me think for 2 days that everybody hated me, he said in there, he was arguing with a lady while he was doing his, might be, that's a very loose term when it comes to that woman. She was also incredibly nuts. But he said something along the line, he referenced Noah's Ark and he referenced creation, and that, you know, God created 1.4 million animals. How did he get them all onto one small wooden boat then? So he contradicted himself in his own argument. And I don't know whether it's because they're so blinded by religion, they can't even see when they say something completely ridiculous, or if they're so kind of consumed by fear of not doing the right thing and ending up in hell that they'll just say whatever they think they have to say.
Yeah, blind belief.
Blind belief. God created 1.4 million animals. Oh, so that means then that there were 2.8 million individual animals of all shapes, sizes, descriptions, and geographical locations. Must have been one hell of a shuttle bus for Noah's Ark, because it got animals from all over the world to one spot so they could all jump on a boat that an old man and his 2 kids made in their back garden.
Was it? I don't know the actual Noah's Ark story, but was it actually him and his 2 sons?
Yeah.
Is that the story?
Yes. Yeah.
Because I thought you were actually just describing Evan Almighty.
Yeah. So not only, right, according to Christianity and religion in general, not only was the world, sorry, let me backtrack slightly. Not only was mankind created by an incestuous relationship,
Yeah.
when God decided, oh, I balls that up, didn't I? I'm going to have to kill everyone now and start again, because that's basically what Noah's Ark is. Some bloke and his 2 sons, and I think Mrs. Noah was there as well, maybe?
Yeah.
And they repopulated the... Ew.
Yeah.
How?
But it's like you said about, I remember you saying this ages ago, but it's like Adam and Eve. Oh, no, wait. Oh, no, you had 2 sons. They had 2 sons is the story, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. But that's another contradiction, see? It's like creationists will evolve from a rock. We believe, I don't know, cows make cows and sheep make sheep and whatever it may be. But they conveniently forget that the claim in Genesis 1 is that God sort of basically, the dull down version is he picked up a load of dirt and sort of did a bit of the old and then like a bloke appeared. And then he did the same then. So they literally think that humanity began because God fashioned some dirt off the ground into human beings.
And do you know what, right? God kind of can't do anything without being a dick about it, because to get Eve there, he could have just gone, do you know what, Adam? Magic. Like I made you. But no, he had to snap his rib off. Oh, no.
No, that was Michael Jackson, wasn't it?
No, Marilyn Manson that was.
Oh, is it?
No. Isn't that the story?
Yeah, and, right, so he made the first man and woman out of some dirt to start everything, and also didn't give him much, but he did give him a tree that if they touched the apples, which were the only thing that seemed to be there was no mention of any other, there wasn't a Subway down the end of the field and a Domino's. They didn't have Deliveroo or nothing, but if they ate the apples, it would kill them.
Yeah. But not to bring it back to this, but that's why it's interesting to me, those stories, Noah's Ark and Adam and Eve, right? The 2 we just talked about. If you reframe those as not historically accurate, factual, if you reframe those as moral fables, then that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
It's when you say, no, that actually happened, you're like, hold on.
Yeah.
Exactly. Hold on. There's no way all those animals got on that boat.
Yeah.
But if you want to use that as like a moral story to be like, yeah, we should all work together in times of crisis, and like Adam and Eve, it could be a moral story or lesson about temptation.
Yeah.
But it's when you start going like, no, that actually happened.
Yeah. It's when you get into Kent Hovind territory and you publicly say that you believe that the Bible is a literal account of Earth's early history.
Which Bible? Which Bible is he talking about?
The King James Version.
Yeah, but
so
the one that's a translation of a translation of a translation.
Yeah.
That is definitely factually accurate.
I saw Alex O'Connor say something the other day. Was it Alex O'Connor? I watched so many atheist content creators.
He's not an atheist.
No, he's not, is he actually?
Well, he's agnostic, but he sways.
It may not have been him then. Who was it? Oh, I can't remember.
It might have been. He will give a lot of atheistic arguments, but he doesn't define himself as an atheist.
Yeah. But yeah, when you start using the Bible as a science book, which it isn't, and believing that it is a literal account of Earth's history. So what Alex O'Connor said was, at best, the Bible was written a few decades after this alleged Jesus guy died.
It was Alex O'Connor. I know the clip you're talking about.
Yeah. So it's kind of, that scene in Ali G where it's, I don't know, switch on the headlights, pass it on. And by the time they get to the end of the show, there's
bitch on the pension, suck my dog.
Yeah.
It
gets lost.
Yeah.
I tell you, then you'll tell your mate the version of it, then
Yeah.
he'll tell his mate and by the time it gets to the last person in the line, the story's completely different.
Yeah.
That's what the Bible is, I think.
Yeah. Well, what Alex O'Connor said was, you saying about, at best, it was written decades after Jesus' death.
Yeah.
And
of course,
and the example he used, right, was tell me exactly what I just said to you.
Yeah.
Word for word.
That's right. Yeah.
You can't remember
exactly
what I told you 30 seconds ago, never mind.
But you expect us to believe that some men wrote things down
who just heard this guy say stuff in passing, and they remembered word for word with total accuracy.
Yeah. I will say, though, they were obviously gonna remember Jesus because he was the only white man living in the Middle East
Literally.
2,000 years ago.
I know.
So he would have stood out.
Yeah.
It's
the only white Palestinian to ever exist.
It's just bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. But my issue is that they've weaponized the belief in something that doesn't exist anyway.
Yeah, I think.
Does that make sense?
I'd love to know when did organized religion start being the dominant force in like global?
I don't know.
Because obviously when we were in our little. Right, let's think back to the glory days, right? Before you bloody Anglos came and took our land from us, right?
Yeah.
So
just quickly, Carl, let me address this super chat, right? Because this relates to what we've been. It was the King James Bible that the creationists generally claim as being historically accurate. But it's the 1769 King James Bible, the one that fixed all the spelling and grammar errors in the 1611 version, over 24,000 changes. And that, again, is the Ali G story.
Yeah.
Bitch on a pension, suck my dong.
Yeah.
It's, do you know what I mean? It's.
There used to be a phrase for that, but I don't think you can say it anymore.
It's nuts to me that anybody can even consider the possibility that it's a historically accurate document.
Yeah.
Now, Jesus' existence is dependent on who you ask, religious and non-religious people.
Yeah,
I don't think. This is what I think, to be honest. I think maybe there was a guy.
Yeah.
Right? And he was like autistic or or like, I don't know, just
I think more schizophrenic.
Yeah. I don't know why I said autistic then. That's why he was really good at sums and everything, and he could count cards. That's why they killed him.
Caught him cheating in the casino.
But yeah, he was probably just like he was like the Ron Cray of 2,000 years ago. He was just completely nuts. But whereas there were meds to help Ron Cray, there was no meds for this guy who sort of is the person that Jesus may have been. And that's if he even was a real historical figure anyway. That's dependent on who you ask.
Yeah, like my sort of belief, I don't know but like my sort of thing with Jesus is, like you said, he could have been, but if he was real, which I tend to think he probably was a real living person.
Yeah.
But he could have, like we said about just now about, it was written decades after, and it's been wow.
Autistic Jesus. Have you heard of Dr. Richard Carrier? He invented bags, didn't he, for shopping? Yeah, I've heard of him. Yeah, it's
no. So I tend to think that rather than him being like a schizophrenic, it could have just been like like Buddha was a real person.
Yeah.
Just a very wise, like wisdomous, wise soul.
Like sitting under trees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe this Jesus was...
Yeah, I know. Nobody ever mentions that in the circles of Christianity.
But yeah, maybe Jesus was, you know, maybe he just had some banging wisdom and he was going, you know, be kind to one another.
You know, Jesus was the David Icke of Jerusalem. Yeah, that's the sort of person I mean. I don't know why I said autistic, right? I don't, but yeah, he would have been like the David Icke, you know, hence the stories about turning water into wine and no, don't be stupid. You know, it's, and see, the thing is, right, is if I said to you now, right, the people watching this now, you're not going to believe what I did yesterday. I was in my garden and I was thinking about Lamborghinis and I really wanted one. And one appeared and I've been driving it all day. You'd think I was completely off my box.
Yeah.
But if some dusty old book says that some guy fed like a gazillion people with a pack of Aldi fish fingers and a bottle of, you know, cheap red wine, that's perfectly believable because it's in an old book. But my claim that I magically made a Lamborghini or a Ferrari appear in my driveway because I wanted one would make me a nut job.
Yeah, Mein Kampf's also an old book, and
yeah, not all old books are
just because it's old don't mean it's right.
Yeah. Oh, there we are. That makes my joke from earlier on a bit inappropriate then.
Okay.
Doctor Who design, I would believe you, Creaky. Bottle of Lambrini or MD 2020, Mad Dog 2020. Oh, excuse me, mister. Come winner, buy me a bottle of Mad Dog, can you?
I wonder, right, if Lambrini is the reason I don't like wine to this day.
I don't like wine either. Hot take, all wine tastes the same.
I think so too.
Doesn't matter whether it's £75 a bottle or £75,000 a bottle. It tastes like, I don't know, it don't taste like grapes. I like grapes. Maybe
it's fermented grape.
Yeah, but isn't feet heavily involved in the making of wine? Maybe that's why it tastes the way it does.
Traditionally, yeah, on the farms you're meant to like stand all over it and stuff. It's probably all machines now, isn't it? Yeah. The bottle of wine you're buying in Tesco is not made on like a prestigious vineyard.
Yeah.
You know, it's machine made.
Remember that clip of that woman, the newscaster, and she was at a vineyard, and the
clip Family Guy remade.
Yeah. There we are, Chris. I like grapes because I'm Welsh.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh dear me. But and people are, this wine, the bouquet and the red wine tastes like
hand sanitizer.
Yeah, warm hand sanitizer. Not even you know, like cranberry juice. Like I said about the shower gel earlier, cranberry juice is the same. Red wine tastes like it doesn't want to be wet. Like it would have rather been left as a grape for me to enjoy.
But isn't that like a
not
dry
ruined
wine?
By stinky feet and toad jam cheese mixed in with grape?
But isn't that like a dry wine? Isn't it supposed to have? I don't get what the difference is. How can a drink be dry?
Yeah, exactly.
It's most that's the conspiracy.
Yeah, exactly.
They're lying about
that's
wine.
That's what Big Grape want us to think.
Yeah, Big Grape want us to think that wine is dry, but it's a drink.
Yeah.
How can a drink be dry?
Exactly.
We could easily grift a conspiracy career. This is all they do.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought
they just make stuff up.
Yeah.
Here in Greece, we step on them. I remember only once I've ever been to Greece, and I was 19 at the time, and we went to Kalamata in mainland Greece. And the one thing I can remember I can remember lots of things about Kalamata, most of which I wouldn't talk about in front of my son on a live stream. But there was a taverna. I think that's what Greek bars are called, like a sort of a restaurant.
Yeah.
But anyway, there was one, because I didn't realize that Kalamata in mainland Spain in 1991, it was actually on the moon. they must have moved it to actual Greece now because it looks nice now. And Kalamata is well known for that, better not say. But no, but what I was going to say, there was this, every night you'd be in this restaurant, there'd be some old Greek guy smashing plates on the floor and then doing this weird Greek dance, which looked a bit like he was an old man trying to twerk. And he kept smashing the back of his hand onto a tiled floor. That was part of the dance. And Grandpa was doing it as well. You can imagine Grandpa now, can't you? And Mrs. Blinder's father, and trying to copy the dance. And his hand, and it looked like he'd had a fight.
Which backed at the back of his hand.
But yeah, Kalamata was a very interesting place. We were staying in a small apartment building, and I know you know the story, but the people watching it may not know. I woke up, and there was like, why is my bed like a foot from the wall? Wasn't there last night? Must have, I don't know, must have pushed myself out of my seat. But anyway, so I called Mrs. Blinder, and we were there with my in-laws because, so I called them. What the bloody hell? So I got out of bed, and I thought, shit, I haven't laid in that. No, it's like 9 o'clock. And I went out onto the balcony, and every single guest in the hotel was stood there looking up at me. I had literally slept through an earthquake that was big enough to scare everybody else out of the hotel. But it has always worried me that Mammy and my in-laws left me in bed in an earthquake in a Greek apartment building that looked as if 2 12-year-olds had built it out of Lego while we were on our way there from the airport. That's what I like. I like the fact that they would have definitely been like trying to wake you up, and then at one point they just went, just leave him. Just leave him. You probably won't even notice if the building collapses. But Penn and Teller tricked some wine experts with cheap white wine and red food colouring. Yeah, how much of wine expertise, or what are they called? Some wine wine Somalians. Wine Somalians, yeah. They're the ones that aren't pirates. Max Fosh recently did a video where he tricked some wine tasters, and he made authentic prison toilet hooch. Yeah. And he mixed them up within like a lineup, and he got some people in to taste the wines to see if any of the experts would choose his toilet hooch. And one of them did. Is it? As their favourite. And it was, and obviously at the end, then he reveals it's I think it is as well, right? And I'm sure they've got like a really refined palate, and they really can taste if there was, I don't know, honeysuckle growing intertwined with the vine that the grapes were picked off. I'm sure they can, right? Like chefs, they have refined palates. They've got a really good palate. A good chef, an experienced chef can taste a plate of food and say, oh, well, you cooked the potatoes with rosemary and you seasoned it with salt and pepper and you used the garlic reduction, and they've got the palate for it. Whereas us, the food's either nice or it's not nice. But it's like these people. There's an advert on the TV. It's Harry here from Abergavenny. Oh no, Hazza, the Castlemine Foster's advert. Yeah. Oh, just put it in an old jam jar and call it something obscure like these craft beers. Yeah. And I'm sure it's, who wants to drink chocolate beer? Yeah, craft beers are. It's a very niche thing, I think. Yeah, it's like mainly divorced men in their 30s get into craft beers. Yeah. I don't know. I can't get on with them, but I'm not going to say anymore. Right, because the advert. I mean, have a jam jar of voodoo jazz hat. Yeah, and it's and I'm sure that with wine buff, it's that sort of why do you sniff wine? Well, that's what they say. Because does it change the taste? Well, I know they say you got to get like. I can't. My sinuses are so wrecked. I wouldn't be able. I just go into a wine tasting thing, and be like, yeah, I can't smell anything. But it's something about like you get the essence because you're supposed to like roll it on your tongue. Yeah.
swill it round your mouth.
Yeah,
It just
yeah,
sounds-
exactly. Hang on a second, Carl. I just got to update the note. Change Chris Shapley's Christmas gift idea. Save.
I also don't think that's an unpopular opinion, Chris.
But Hakuna Matata says they're always so bitter.
I've had one that was nice.
What,
Those
what? What are we talking? Are we still talking about beer, or is this bitter wine?
Oh,
Because
I
there
was
is beer
talking
called
about
bitter.
I was talking about beers, but I don't know. Maybe they're talking about wine.
Yeah.
But I have had like 1 or 2 craft beers. That I'm like, oh, this is drinkable.
Yeah.
But I'm also not a beer guy.
Yeah, same as
I'm
me.
a
Same as me.
a
It's like
rum.
when I was at the doctor's for something, and they ask, because it's one of the standard questions, and they do smoke, do you drink? And
yeah,
I said,
I'm cool.
yeah, yeah. But it's like, well, I can honestly say I've had 1 pint of beer this year and I didn't finish it, and I can tell you what it was, where I had it, and how much of it I drank. And it was a pint of Hawkston's Black.
Yeah.
I drank about 3/4 of the pint before I thought I was going to shit my pants outside the busiest pub I have ever been to in my life, and knew I had absolutely no chance of an emergency poo other than in my pants.
Yeah, you've never been a big.
Yeah.
You're a little bit like me. I think I will eventually end up more like you with drinking, because when you drink, you drink.
Yeah,
You
that's-
like
that's
it. Yeah, like I'm the same, and I can't kind of if I'm going out for a drink isn't like, oh, I'll have a quiet, I'll have a can, or I'll have a
Yeah.
rum.
Yeah.
If I'm going out, I'm having 15 drinks,
Yeah, yeah.
4 shots of tequila.
Yeah. But it's like when I was younger and we used to go out, every Friday, every Saturday, we would go to like the local pub, and I would do 5 pints in like hour and a half.
Yeah.
And once I got to 5, that's when I was like, right, slow down now, slow down. And then 6, 7. And then if I made it to like my 8th pint, that would usually be when somebody had to come and find me asleep
Really?
on the floor in the toilets. Yeah.
So you've never been a particularly
Not a massive drink. And
'Cause-
I've done 10 pints, but rarely, and it
That's-
wrecks me. Like, that's like a 3-day
Yeah.
hangover, hoping for death.
So when we were like 18, obviously you know what me and the boys were like when
Yeah.
we were younger.
Yeah.
We were out every Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, yeah.
Before the night out, so the pre-drinks.
Yeah.
The minimum I would have wanted to consume before I left the house was either 12 cans.
Mm.
And if you're American, I don't mean one of those little bitch
Yeah,
boy
not the-
330 mils.
Not the girly cans.
I
get
think
in
you
the
call them
States.
tall boys or
Yeah.
tall whatever.
We
or
just
as
call
we call
them
them,
cans of beer.
regular cans of beer,
Yeah.
because that's anyway. 12 of those,
Mm.
or this was back when me and the boys were all on gin,
Yeah,
or an entire bottle. It was a 700 milliliter from Aldi,
yeah,
Oliver Cromwell gin.
yeah.
I would drink the entire bottle
Yeah.
before going out, and then
Yeah.
I'd have another 5 to 10 drinks while I'm out.
Yeah. But it's like with me now, really the only time I will drink is when I go away on holiday.
You
And
like
then
to drink away.
I'm doing it then because I'm in a different environment, and I've always been, well, no, I haven't always been, but I now know kind of, I can literally, yeah, that's it. I've had enough now. I don't want any more.
Yeah.
Literally not. That's it. Now I'm done. But yeah, I can take it or leave it now. I'm not
Yeah, 'cause
bothered one way or the other.
yeah, and that's why I say I think I'm going to end up more like you as I get older, because I went from every Friday and Saturday to at least once a week
Yeah.
to now and again. And now, like, I went out 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It was the 3rd time in like 2 months. And I remember thinking, oh, I need a break. 3 times in 2 months, I'm knackered.
Yeah.
And I would do 3 times a week sometimes,
Yeah.
Friday, Saturday, and a Wednesday, because it would be
Yeah.
student night.
Student night.
So I would
yeah,
go out on
remember.
student night too.
Yeah.
So 3 times a week I could be
Yeah.
out till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, but
Couldn't do it now.
I've like jumped in cars that I thought were taxis and weren't, and just asked them to take me places, and
Yeah.
just run up the road wearing virtually nothing but a road cone on my head, and
Yeah.
you know. And I'm talking when I was younger, you know, like 47, 40, no, like when I was near a your age.
Yeah.
Because it's just when you're your age, you don't see, this is going to sound like such an old man thing to say, but the perils of being in an environment where everybody is shit-faced and don't really know what they're doing.
Yeah. I don't think my age, because you got to think I'm almost 30.
Yeah.
It's more like Jordan's age group. It's early 20s.
Yeah.
A lot of people my age some are still reckless, some have sort of grown out of it by that point. So it tends to be a slightly safer environment. It depends who your friends are, I guess. It depends who you're around.
And the thing is today is, how can anybody afford a night out?
That is also one of the reasons I don't go out anymore.
A night out when I was your age and younger was like, if I had 50 quid in my pocket, that was an awesome, that was off your face so you can just about remember your name, still enough to jump in a taxi and go down to Gorse, sit down and have a curry, and then maybe go around to the Brighton Road or something and finish the night off with some pound a pint Fosters but now, Jesus, it's like it's a glass of wine and a pint of lager. It's got to be like 15 quid.
It's insane now. So you saying about 50 quid. So for me, 50 quid used to be, when I was 18, 50 quid was the going to town budget.
Yeah.
So 50 quid
Yeah.
was enough to have a hell of a night.
Yeah.
That was including, I would buy like alcohol for beforehand, get the taxis, all that. That 50 quid would do you a solid night. If you wanted to go on an absolute rager, like you said, 70 quid.
Yeah.
But you'd wake up in the morning like,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, I spent too much money.
Yeah.
But now,
yeah, but back then, when I'm talking like 50 quid, I was earning like 150 quid a week.
Yeah, well, yeah. But so, yeah, it's still a big amount.
So it was like, really, it was a third of my weekly salary.
Yeah. But now I cannot go on a night out without spending 100 quid.
Yeah.
I just can't do it.
Exactly. Even the good doctor, look, he's had to pause his tarty ways because it's too expensive to get laid.
Yeah.
You know?
It's ridiculous.
It's nuts, it is. But like, you know, if I was to go on a 25-year-old creaky night out tonight, I'd probably spend,
like,
I don't know,
200-300 quid.
200 or 300 quid easily.
But I've done it. I've done it where, you know, a couple of years back when me and Jordan started going up to Cardiff to go to the comedy club, something about a comedy club, it just obviously puts you in such like a upbeat mood that as soon as you come out of there, you're like, right, let's go to a bar. And then you might bump into some people you saw in the comedy club. So you get chatting to them. And before you know it, like, oh, I'm buying these basically strangers. I'm buying them a drink.
Yeah.
And I've just...
Yeah, that's something else I'll do as well. Buy everyone a drink.
And I've gone to the bar, and in one tap of my phone, I've spent 40 quid.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm not even going to speak to these people in 5 minutes' time.
And then it's like, oh, shots for everybody. Oh, there's only 30 of us. 30 shots.
Yeah.
And, you know, stupid things like that. But it's...
I get very generous.
But that was fags as well. Dr. Nimrod's just said 50 quid night out, drink, smokes, taxi, take... Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was going to say cigarettes, but I didn't add that in. But yeah.
But it's like, you know, when you go on a night out, so I would do 20 while I was in the pub.
Yeah.
Easily. One out, one light. By the end of it, you could sandpaper the stool legs with your tongue.
I'm definitely going to get lectured by people in the chat for this, but and I'm exposing myself, but I'm still like that. If I go on a night out, if I buy a pack of cigarettes, they will be gone before the end of the night. And I usually have to crack a second pack open, and I'll wake up with like 15 of them. I'll easily do 20 on a night out. I'm a nightmare for it.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy with it. And I'm hoping, that's why I keep checking my phone. It's not that I'm not interested in what we're talking about. I want to know where my really expensive pot of mustache wax is. I was hoping to go full wing commander for tonight's live stream and have the old twirls and everything, but I'd be fuming if it's not coming till tomorrow. Absolutely fuming. But yeah, the worst one I can remember, right, is when we were in London. I think it was last year. And we weren't in a particularly upmarket part of London, but there was this, I don't know, this stupid London-y wine bar, empty inside, everyone's sitting out on the pavement, smoking, nips out the air because it's so cold. And I thought, we go by here. And I don't fancy, I'm just going to have a soda water and lime and a glass of wine. No, I'm lying. I did have a drink in this bar, and I said, I'll have a gin and tonic. And it tastes a bit like pop. So I had a gin and tonic and a glass of wine. And he says, should we have another? No, we'll have a bit of a stroll now, and we'll have another one in a bit later on. Oh, can I have the bill, please, love? Yeah. But it was like 43 quid.
Yeah.
I was like, I think you give me somebody else's bill. And she came, I do apologize. And she opened it. She said, no, a glass of dry white wine and a gin and tonic. It's 47 £47 or £43. I couldn't believe. I know it was London, but it's like, come on.
When me and Jordan were in Brighton, which funny enough was 3 years ago this weekend,
Mustache wax has arrived.
Oh, that's what it is.
Official announcement.
Yeah, when me and Jordan were in Brighton 3 years ago, we were in one bar. It was a Wetherspoons, and it was Jordan's round.
Sugar spoons.
Yeah, we were in a Wetherspoons, and Jordan's like, I'll get this one, you get the next one. That's what we tend to do on nights out.
Yeah.
He goes to the bar, 2 rum and cokes. Comes like, I don't know, 7, 8 quid, something like that, right? We go to the next bar. We're like, oh, this place looks cool. Let's go in here. I go to the bar. This one isn't a Wetherspoons. I got 2 rum and cokes, please. Yeah, £18. I was gobsmacked. 2 single rum and cokes.
Yeah.
18 quid.
Yeah. And if you go to Uncle Ped's in Benidorm,
yeah,
2 massive vodka and cokes is like €7.
Yeah, Spain.
And it's always buy one, have one free.
They
24 hour, well, not 24 hour. I think they open at 10 a.m. and they close at 2. And it's buy one, have one free all the way through.
I remember when we were in Mallorca, me and the boys, Magaluf.
Malagoof.
Something about the Spanish. They love to fill up.
Yeah.
They give you vodka by the pint.
I know what the mystery is with that. I'll tell you now.
Ooh, super chat.
Zerkjerk, thank you very much indeed. My afterlife will be in a pub that serves onion milk.
What is onion milk?
Yeah, how would you milk an onion?
No, he said...
Without crying?
It must have been you, Zerkjerk. Last week you said something about onion milk, and that's not the first time you've mentioned it, and I don't know what it means.
I was going to say something then, but I bloody
10
forgot.
euros a pint in Corfu. €10 pints of vodka. Sorry, I thought.
Yeah, what it is in Spain, but this is purely what Pablo told me, right? So this is not verified, scientifically peer-reviewed information. But apparently, to keep up with the demand from all the British pissheads that go to Benidorm, they've got to make it so quickly they can't afford to let it mature. Like, like if you buy Grey Goose or AU.
Yeah.
Or something like that. It's been sat. It's, like whiskey, it's been left to mature. But they can't do that. So the alcohol volume doesn't...
Paint stripper.
Yeah, doesn't... See, no, I like it.
No, I don't.
But the alcohol volume doesn't get as high as it does in like Smirnoff. Because you can buy Smirnoff in Uncle Ped's as well. But it's like...
It's expensive.
It's like €10 for a Smirnoff and Coke. And I'm not paying €20 for something that I can get for €7.50 for 2.
Yeah.
It's because I'm with vodka, it just tastes like vodka. There's no...
I can't...
I will say that when I used to get given Grey Goose for Christmas, Grey Goose is a smooth vodka.
See, that's what I mean. Yeah, I think expensive. It just gets smoother. It doesn't taste any different. Like whiskey drinkers, I can understand. Different blends of whiskey and all that. But
Yeah.
people who drink straight vodka,
Yeah.
it can't be for the taste, surely.
No, it can't be,
Because
can it?
what does it taste like?
Yeah. It just
Hand
tastes,
sanitizer.
yeah, it just tastes like burny.
Yeah. Oh, this
Like,
one's got
yeah.
a hint of Ward 30 in
Yeah.
Marsden Hospital.
Or oh shit, I forgot to clean the paintbrushes.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. Troy Allen always has some vodka in the freezer. Why doesn't vodka freeze? It's the alcohol in there that can't freeze.
I always
can
put
it?
my rum in the freezer.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, because it doesn't freeze. It's lovely.
Yeah, but then when you put Coke in it, which came out of the fridge, not the freezer, you're warming it up anyway. So what's the point?
That's like saying, what's the point putting ice in your drink? Because the ice is just going to go warm.
No,
You're kind of like icifying the rum. It just goes as cold as it can, but it won't freeze. So it never goes slushy.
Have you ever heard of Tito's vodka?
Tito's.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tito, is it?
Yeah, Tito's vodka. I think it's big in America, I want to say.
Is it?
I know the reason I know what Tito's vodka is because of Bert Kreischer.
Right.
Troy Allen, I'm with Callum. About what? What was I on about?
Freezing vodka.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Troy said
Yeah.
he freezes. Yeah, he freezes vodka.
It's because when you also add the ice, then it's doubly cold. It's lovely. Absolute vodka is all right.
Yeah, Sut Kettle sums it up. I never drank vodka for the taste. It was for the unsteady warm.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, I will drink vodka if I'm like, the plan tonight is to get shit faced.
Yeah.
But if I will also use rum for that as well. But if I actually want to enjoy my drinks, I'll always have a spiced rum and coke.
Again, going back to when I was younger and on the rare occasions I could drag my brother out, we would always be ramming whiskey down each other's throats because, it would be, should we have another pint? Yeah, have another pint. And while you're at the bar, you have a quick whiskey shot.
Yeah.
Just, while you're stood at the bar.
Yeah. That's another thing. I'll wake up with like a horrific hangover and I'll be like, how was I so drunk last night?
Yeah.
I only went to the bar 4 times. It's like, yeah, but every time you went to the bar,
you got 7 drinks.
You got a drink and 2 shots.
Yeah.
It adds up quickly.
Yeah, but I've seen Teddy Swims talking about his favorite drink being tequila. Now, I'm not a tequila connoisseur by any means, but my inbuilt memory of tequila is the Wanaloith Rugby Club and being so drunk. In the end, I was banging a shot of tequila. So I was pulling lemon out of the ashtray.
And if I do a tequila shot, I have to do it the lemon way.
Yeah.
Or if I have if I have another drink, I'll do a chaser.
Yeah.
But like salt, lemon, tequila. It seems like a bit of a pointless. I always thought growing up, it's just people do it on films. It's a bit of like down in a drink, a bit of a party thing. It actually does make it way nicer.
Yeah, CK is right. It's
lime.
Lime, yeah, not lemon.
Oh,
but
yeah.
So I was pulling lime out of the ashtray. It was grim. But I'm convinced that, spirits, whiskey, vodka, gin, but the sole purpose of them is just to get you off your bin. I can't see how sitting there, and I'm sure Sir Sick, if he gets to hear this, will probably never speak to me again because he's a big whiskey fan. But I've tasted single malt whiskey, and it just tastes exactly the same as any other whiskey. It just burns your throat.
I can't.
Removes your taste buds on the way through your mouth, and then burns your throat and gives you ring sting in the morning.
I've always wanted to like whiskey, but I just can't. I think I'm almost at a point where I could probably drink straight spiced rum.
Yeah.
Because even now I can, put mostly rum and just like a splash of Coke just to take that little sting out of it.
Yeah.
But
well, that's why a lot of people drink whiskey with water in it. It is to dilute it.
It just cuts.
But it sort of smooths it out.
Takes the
apparently,
edge.
And I saw some whiskey expert on, I can't remember if I saw, it was a long time ago, and I can't remember if I saw this on TikTok or YouTube, but it was, so when you're at he was teaching you how to order and pour a whiskey and water. So you go into a bar. So we'll say you go into, it's not there anymore, the pub that we used to like go into that's just down the road.
Yeah.
And you would always have a jar of water on the bar, and it would usually have like a Bell's whiskey logo on it. And so so you go in there, and this guy said, in his video, so you get your glass and you get your whiskey and you pour, and about 2 fingers is a good measure if you're doing it at home or even at a bar. Ask for a double. And he said the trick is when you grab the water jug, you don't grasp it by the handle. You grasp it by the handle, but you put your finger in to check the temperature, because if it's too cold, it'll ruin your whiskey. So what if the guy who ordered whiskey before you had just been for a shit and hadn't washed his hands? Oh, I love some clinkers with my whiskey.
If anyone sticks their finger in my drink, I'm sending it back.
Yeah, it's like double dipping. But I don't know. I can see people in the side chat now saying things like try it with a bit of water, but it's like, it's like when you watch the Peaky Blinders and it
always looks lovely.
Yeah, and they're all obviously raging alcoholics who drink whiskey. That's one thing with Tommy Shelby. You never see him consume as much as a crumb of food. All he does is smoke and drink whiskey.
Oh, that's funny. I've never
Throughout
noticed
all
that.
6 seasons, you will not see him so much as... No, actually, I think there's one scene and he's sitting down with the Russians and they've put a meal in front of him. And I think, if I remember correctly, he either picks up one slice of cucumber or a leaf of spinach, and he eats that, and that is the only thing that passes his lips apart from whiskey and cigarettes.
That's funny.
And it just always, I wish I liked whiskey. It looks really nice, a little glass. And in my brain tells me by looking at it that it tastes a bit like, I don't know, like a caramel sort of.
Yeah.
But it don't.
But you can get, so there's a spiced rum called Bamboo that
Bamboo.
I found out a bit because I think like Lil Wayne was the face of the company for a while.
Yeah.
You can, I don't know if you can still get it in Wetherspoons. You could, but it's kind of got like this bubblegummy caramel taste to it.
Yeah.
And it's, it's rum.
Yeah.
I can drink that by itself because it has got what I think it tastes. Do you remember Screwballs from the Ice Cream Man?
Yeah.
That's what it tastes like.
Oh, does it?
But it's rum.
Because I will drink.
It's not bamboo. It's bamboo.
I forgot what it's called now.
BUMBU.
It's it tastes like a cherry bakewell tart.
Oh,
I can see it now.
Wait.
It's got a square lid on the bottle. I can't bloody think what it's called.
Di
Serrano. Now, I'll have a couple of sips of Di Serrano neat, and I don't mind that. But I know if I carried on drinking it, I'd be sick everywhere. Because it's very, very sweet, but it's sweet enough.
It's like Southern Comfort.
Oh,
I can't drink it anymore either.
I can barely bring myself to say it. The toilets in the Wanalaith Rugby Club have never been the same since.
Sailor Jerry's rum. Yes, Chris. I love Sailor Jerry's as well.
I think Amaretto is what the drink is called, but Di Serrano is the brand.
Yes.
Because you can get like a bloody happy shopper Amaretto, can't you? It tastes a bit like 2-stroke and petrol mixed together.
I don't mind it.
No?
I don't mind the, when I was younger, if you were like planning something, you're like, oh, get a bottle of vodka, a bottle of this, a bottle of that for everyone.
Yeah.
I would always just get the cheap one and I didn't mind it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how this has happened again, Carl, but we've spent the last sort of 40 minutes talking about booze. Maybe that's why some people believe there's life after we expire.
Yeah. We went, yeah, there we go. We instantly went from talking about life after death to alcoholism. And
yeah, exactly. And could the two be related?
yeah.
Troy says Di Serono is the posh one. Well, I'm a posh
Yeah.
guy, Di Serono. Di Serono. I'm a posh guy, Troy. Can't you tell by my magnificent mustache?
I've only just noticed that you have a photo now, Troy Allen.
Oh, yeah.
You're always just a little...
And he's a vampire. You'd never have said it,
That's
would it?
crazy, I know. I did not know he's from Transylvania.
My brother was in the Navy and spent many a night chatting over a bottle of Pusser's rum. Now, my dad's uncle, my great uncle, was in the Merchant Navy. And when he was in the Navy, a bottle of rum they were given it. It was part of their ration.
Yeah.
And that definitely didn't contribute to what he became. And I mean a raging alcoholic who didn't know which way was up and his right from his left. But it was all because of, I don't know, I guess the Navy turned him into, they didn't turn him into Popeye, they turned him into a raging alcoholic who, because he had served for so many years and had been drinking, because if you're getting a bottle of rum every day, you're going to drink the bottle every day.
Well, yeah.
And
I think a lot of that generation, military-wise, they were just kind of...
Yeah.
And not that it's a hell of a lot better now, but they are just kind of dumped back into civilization and gone, I'll deal with it.
That's a pretty dark comment, isn't it?
Jesus.
Now, I know you usually need headache tablets after the event, but in my case, it's usually always the next day, not at the same time. I do not endorse that message. Kev Meredith. In my old local in Abergavenny, the landlord used to drink Wood's Navy rum. Navy rum was what my uncle used to drink.
Was there?
Yeah, Wood's, yeah. With a cordial called Shrub. My uncle used to drink it with a straw. But yeah, it's interesting how we've ended up where we've ended up. But on that note, I think we will start winding this conversation down because
what is it? 10 to
because I went to and we went for 3 hours and 19 minutes last week.
I know it was long last week.
That's the thing. See, when you've got a guest, it's very easy to go off on. We can go off on a tangent when it's just you and I in here.
Yeah.
But when you've got a third person in the conversation as well, it's very easy to go off on a massive tangent. I did try to get a guest on for tonight as well. I did ask Radical, but Radical is very, very slow at replying to his Twitter DM. So
come on, Radical.
Yeah. So if you're watching this, Radical, we want you on. And and there's very few people watching this now who are gonna get this reference. But the last time I went live with Radical, it was when we still lived in the old house. And after I'd been live for like, I don't know, an hour and 20 minutes, I noticed something in my lap, Carl, and I went, where's this meant to go? I had done the whole stream with headphones on that weren't plugged in.
Oh my God.
But there we are. Yeah, I think we call it done there. Thank you to everybody that super chatted. Thank you for everybody that stuck about. And we will see you next Sunday, same time. And I'll see you again tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. UK time. Thank you all so much for watching. Love you. Bye.
Thank you all for watching Creaky Live. Don't forget to follow me on all of your social media platforms. Have a good day and have a creaky week.